with this, we move on to our first keynote session of the day. A decade ago, clients were largely passive recipients of legal services, receiving a one-size-fits-all model. Today, clients are much more informed and much more active. This has led to a radical shift in how clients perceive the law and consequently how they engage with lawyers. Keeping this in mind, what does the next year look like for legal experts and for legal representation? Please join me in welcoming our next speaker, Ms. Vanja Mégevand, founder and CEO of Lawrence Legal. Welcome, Vanja.
My name is
Vanja. All right, computer is there.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much to the organization committee for having me today for this very first edition of the Law 2.0 conference in Dubai. My name is Vanja Mégevand, and I'm a Swiss attorney registered at the Geneva Bar. I practiced for 7 years white-collar crime and art law in a very well-renowned law firm in Geneva, in Switzerland. Before I decided to change paths, as I clearly saw that the legal industry and legal needs were shifting. And so 5 years ago, I decided to launch the very first legal tech company in Geneva, Switzerland, actually. And the company's name is Lawrence, your reference in law. It's a B2B, B2C marketplace that operates digitally, mainly. A bit of a disruptive way of operating, untraditional, of course. We mainly use a legal platform that allows clients all around the world to ask their legal question, and a very fast and automated algorithm is actually putting in touch clients with the right specialists that would enable us to enable them to solve their legal issue. Actually, when I was practicing as a legal specialist, I discovered and I felt that clients were not sufficiently redirected when it came to the first preliminary legal orientation. They wouldn't really know whether they actually needed a lawyer and how long or how much the legal proceedings were going to take or cost, and whether actually it was worth engaging legal professionals and having legal specialists. So today, this algorithm that my team and I have come up with a couple of years ago presents a very broad, but quite broad solution and preliminary orientation to the client that has a legal problem and encounters a legal problem. So he could actually decide by his own means if it's actually worth engaging with a legal specialist. So it's a B2B, a B2C marketplace. Not only clients, but also lawyers are able to use this platform, as sometimes we might be, as legal professionals, quite specialized in a legal area and need other people's and other specialist skills to solve a problem. I'm thinking, for instance, of divorce law, where a divorce lawyer might not be so specialized for all that regards taxes when it comes to dissolutions of a marriage, and would actually engage via our platform, finding another legal specialist that could actually jump in and work on the divorce case next to him. So we also operate in a completely unusual way marketing-wise. We use a lot of social media, Instagram mainly. I would be very happy actually to discuss furthermore with you potential collaboration, as we're expanding in the UAE since 2 weeks now. So it's a really new venture that we're trying to do here. And I invite you to follow us on social media or tag us if you feel like it. But actually, let's come back to our current topic. I'm here today to present you the current legal tech countries and actually the shape of the legal tech industry in 2022 and the structural changes that we might expect in 2023. First, let's talk about the legal tech leading countries, as well as the capital that was raised by these countries in the past 2 years, reflect then on the ability of smaller countries to become legal tech leaders, and analyze the current regulatory frames that surround legal technologies, namely the European AI Act. Then I would like to share my thoughts with you on the structural problems encountered by the traditional legal markets for both clients and legal specialists, lawyers, before truly discovering the 3 main legal tech trends that are expecting us in 2023. Finally, I will show you the newest inventions by 2 major legal tech companies that will hopefully blow your mind as much as they blew mine a couple of weeks ago when I actually discovered them. 2022, where are we standing today when we are thinking of legal technologies? As you all know, legal technologies were almost inexistent 10 years ago. USA were, of course, a country that was the most advanced in their research and their discoveries, and I'm mainly thinking of private-led companies such as Ross Intelligence that you've probably heard of, that was founded in the early 2000s. It's the very first legal assistant, and it's a joint venture between 2 wonderful men that I had the chance to meet a couple of years ago in San Francisco, a lawyer and IT developer that actually were living together and not really getting along as flatmates, but one day around a beer, they decided to discover each other's passions, and they came up with the idea of creating the very first legal assistant. And this was back in 2010. 2010, sorry. And since then, there was a fascinating development and evolution in the legal tech background. Today, almost every single European and leading country, Asian country, has a legal tech association, legal tech department within their governments and administrations. And the newest legal technology trends are now Asian, Middle Eastern, Singapore, Seoul, Israel, figuring on the top 10 of the leading countries. Now as I told you, I come from a very small country. You all have heard of Switzerland. And when I actually first thought of launching this legal tech of mine a couple of years ago, the actual interest and the consideration rose is launching from Switzerland a strategically good idea when it comes to legal technology. Small countries have a very clear advantage. I'm also thinking of Israel when I'm talking about small countries, because Israel is one of the leading legal tech countries nowadays. They have a clear advantage as collaboration between governmental administration and universities, institutions is very, very close. Industries and governments are extremely close, and we do thrive for innovation. We do thrive for technological evolution, as universities and institutions are considered as the best worldwide in these very small countries. Today, major companies such as Google and Facebook hire from Israeli and Swiss institutions. I'm sure you have heard of Herzliya Legal Tech Department, as well as ETH in Zurich or EPFL in Lausanne. These are really very, very forward thinkers in terms of technology. And now today, we're very lucky to count also very interesting computer science and legal tech department in all these universities. When I first launched the company a couple of years ago, it's true that it was a bit of a tricky decision, as small markets are extremely tricky. Being small comes with a very heavy cost. We lack data. Their population, these small countries' population are not big enough to enable a very big international outreach, and very often language becomes a huge problem and a barrier to expansion. In Switzerland, as you know, we have 4 national languages. We have 26 cantons. In Israel, there's a Hebrew that might be a major barrier when it comes to international expansion. And although technology might be very good and the collaboration between institutions, governments, universities is quite advanced, there is a major barrier, and this is data, expansion, and population. The main legal technology companies today are based in the US, and this is not a breaking news. We're thinking of IBM, we're thinking of Betty, of Joseph, of Immigram, Docket, Digital Walk, to name a few. And all these companies are mounting to a funding total of 68 million. But this shows one thing, is that legal technology is moving extremely slowly, at a very, very slow pace, as it took 10 years for these companies to achieve their current status. When we compare it to other industries and other technologies worldwide, legal tech is really booming in the past 2 years, but it took them a very long time to get started and paced up. Moreover, the 2 past years were the busiest ever for the legal tech and new law investments, as well as M&A activity, with $2.5 billion in total funding. There were 160 combination deals plus 220 approximative fundraising only last year in 2021, which is a record for the sector, legal industry, and new law investment. Also, the majority of investment and deals took place in North America, as 73% of these deals happened between New York, Seattle, Boston, and the Silicon Valley, with the US taking a notable but far smaller share, around 6%, and 21% of the deals took place in the rest of the world, mainly in Asia, Berlin, and Israel. Out of these $2.5 billion, $1 billion was raised in private APOs, $1 billion in high-tech exports, such as cloud solutions and cybersecurity, which we'll see a bit later on, whilst $500 million was invested in legal tech unicorns. Now, as always, whenever there's novelty, evolution, and innovation, governments have to put their noses in it to ensure that innovation is compliant with both data protection and international regulation. And we saw earlier this morning with this fantastic panel that data protection is one of the hottest topics at the moment. It's indeed extremely important that our data is protected. But now today, there's a European act called the AI Act that actually got that was passed in last April 2021. It's a European Act on Artificial Intelligence, the first law on AI by a major regulator anywhere in the world, and it ensures that AI doesn't affect any part of our human lives and forces government to respect a certain risk benchmarks. So when it comes to the European AI Act, like the GDPR, General Protection Regulation that was passed in 2018, the European AI Act could become a global standard, determining to what extent AI has a positive rather than a negative effect in our lives. So now we could ask ourselves the question, is regulatory and regulations in legal tech industry absolutely needed? Is it a push, a pull? And as much as myself, I'm a very strong believer in rules and regulations, Switzerland being a very strong regulatory framework, as you know, like most of countries, and arbitration panels use Swiss law as a leading law everywhere in the world. Other countries even copied our legal system to incorporate it in their own legal system. I'm thinking of Turkey, for instance. I personally fear that this EU AI Act, when it comes to legal technologies, will become a major break to innovation, especially when it comes to legal technologies, as in maybe in other fields and other industries, it might be completely different. But when it comes to legal technology and legal industry, it's already led by a set of rules and standards that are moving very slowly. And traditional lawyers are controlling, traditional law firms are controlling this legal tech industry. And these actors are not very keen on change and innovation for the different reasons we know, as maybe the comfortable economical reasons that notable law firms might have, or the fear of lack of data or privacy law. But regulating AI seemed like an imperative to the European Union, and this European Commission is acting as a forward-thinking, self-proclaimed authority in the matter. So this is to be followed very closely in the next couple of months, especially in 2023. Indeed, today's very traditional legal industry encounters 5 major structural problems. We have an increased complexity of law and legal processes, internationalization of businesses and claims, with the moving populations coming from different conflicts or migration between populations and countries. We have an increasing load of court cases and data at a very slower pace, which might become a very big problem in the near future, especially in Asian countries such as India or China. We have competition amongst lawyers and legal service providers, as today universities don't have numerous clauses when it comes to accepting different students. And we have more and more legal specialists, legal service providers everywhere in the world. Timesheet also, and hourly billing system are systems that lack modernity, and clients today fear that there's a very big lack of transparency when it comes to big law firms or notable lawyers charging their hourly rates. They absolutely have no way to ensuring in advance that these rates would be actually followed or strict when it comes to a major court case. In this environment, business to business, B2B needs innovation. We have B2B needs and B2C needs, and B2B needs are the document and data search, internal processes and automation, as well as compliance and long-term tracking, whilst clients and B2B, B2C and interactions are aiming for an overhaul, as I said, increased transparency and equality of costs and decisions, provisions regarding costs and decisions, as well as a matching with the right legal specialist. I'm coming back to our own company, Lawrence, that I was introducing to you earlier. It came up with a very simple idea to allow all clients around the world to have a fixed benchmark when it came to legal processes, legal costs, also have a fair decision, as a court decision may fluctuate if there's not a very strict analysis of court data. And we think that artificial intelligence, natural language processing, AI, machine learning, all these automation processes might allow today more transparency and equality between clients, processes, legal processes, and a very strict benchmark when it comes to costs worldwide. So what is awaiting us in 2023? I would like to actually focus on the 3 main legal tech trends that we should watch in 2023. So right now, 2021, 2022, the hottest topic is cybersecurity, and we do not expect that to change in the near future. Large and trusted companies have had their reputations tarnished, and there's a general air of chronic unease within the business community, as it's no longer the case of if a cyber attack happens, but when. The global average of cost of data breach increased of 2 to 3% from $4.25 million US dollars in 2021 to $4.5 million in 2022. The highest it's been in the history of IBM security, and IBM came up with a very interesting report that I would advise you to read, the Cost of Data Breach Report by IBM. Legal departments and law firms will also need to be hyper-vigilant about the secure transfer of storage, of information, storage of documents, and maintaining cyber-safe work practices within their own internal practices. Secondly, as the global regulatory environment increases complexity and scale, appropriately managing regulatory frameworks and maintaining legal compliance has become a significant challenge. Law firms are developing and will continue developing innovative ways to solve clients' pain points, with customized client or industry-specific regulatory workflow solutions, and incorporating a law firm's knowledge and expertise with workflow automation. Technology will help clients navigate challenges and regulatory obligations. We will actually have an automated technology and some modern legal technologies platform that could be highly configurable and designed to be two-sided, so client to firm and both firm to client, ensuring the secure transfer information, instruction, advice, and client collaboration before a legal problem, while solving a legal problem, and after the legal problem is solved. Thirdly, cost control. So modern spend management practices and legal technology solutions must focus on the entire process of engaging a law firm and managing a matter, not just interrogating the bill after the work is completed. This starts with ensuring that instructions to law firms from the clients are sufficiently detailed and broken down into phases of work, a bit like an IT company with different flows and workflows and work sessions. A client will now be able to understand at which pace the law firm is going to submit certain information, certain legal analysis, documents, and actions to courts. Best practice also suggests that when briefing matters to outside counsel, the legal team can either send instructions to one law firm or opt to send a competitive brief. And I'm sure you're very familiar of these competitive briefs to multiple law firms to obtain competitive quotes from a law firm to another, from a specialist to another one. And ideally, the decision framework for briefing law firms has an agreed protocol and logic. Technology can be a powerful enabler to streamline and provide a structure for all these matters. And I'm really advising you to follow closely these IBM reports on these very interesting 3 legal tech trends next year. So now allow me to present you 2 innovations that I'm sure you've heard of that were tested this year and will continue to be developed in 2023. Firstly, the Swiss company Deep Judge, and secondly, IBM's Project Debater, by IBM. Deep Judge is considered the future of legal profession. It's the next generation AI-powered legal document processing platform that can automatically highlight and anonymize sensitive information, smartify documents by augmenting them with external data and search for related relevant documents across in-house databases. Project Debater, on the other hand, is the first AI system that can actually debate humans on complex topics. The goal is to help people build persuasive arguments and make well-informed decisions. And I would like actually to show you a small video to show you how far technology can go when it comes to debating against the most renowned debaters worldwide. Sorry, can we launch the video, please? Thank you. Or if not, Project Debater, you should absolutely watch on YouTube. It's a fascinating proof that technology, and with all the data that is available online and in different data systems around the world, whether law firms or big companies, a machine can actually go plunge and dive and find relevant information to debate against brains, human brains, and the most advanced legal professionals worldwide. So I would like to end by a little consideration. What's next, and are we ready for legal tech, the future of legal tech worldwide? Are we all together, all the countries ready to work hand in hand? What is next for the future of legal tech industry, and how will humans use technology to advance better rather than being pushed backwards and led by technology and robotics? Is the future of legal tech industry led by these machines, AI and robotics, or does all these different automative systems and new legal technologies will actually just allow a better performance amongst legal specialists, law firms, and legal service providers? In a world where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there is, in my opinion, only one space left to innovate in, and this space is you. And on this very note, I wish you a fantastic end of the year and a very innovative 2023. And I would very much appreciate if you could ask me your questions now, as we have a bit of time, I assume, to answer your questions, if any. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any questions for Vanja? Yes, you know where the microphone is.
Good morning, and thank you very much. I have very bad habit that I ask so many questions in my life. So I'll be talking actually about legal technology tomorrow. So I have a big passion actually about legal technology. So my first question is about transformation and readiness, which you are highlighting. How much, what exactly that's needed from legal platform perspective towards transformation? So, and what are the key elements towards this transformation? Is it the laws, the legislative platform, the people, technology, mindset shift, or just a mix or blend of everything? And from where should we start?
Thank you very much for your very interesting question. And actually, I'm extremely thankful for this one. I think everyone should start with human. Human is today the main objective. It takes a lot of place in all different kinds of processes in every single industry, not only legal. Humans have a lot of empathy. And when it comes to technology, robotics might lack this empathy and listening and human interactions. So we should put humans in the center of the attention. What do they want when it comes to legal? What are they expecting? As you know, I mean, you probably, as legal specialists, have encountered a lot of legal situations where people are suffering around us, where they might ask themselves what to do, how to solve a legal issue. And when it comes to legal, I feel that us specialists have a huge responsibility in helping humans advance to our best possible abilities. And advancing, this can be done in different ways, by enabling a very transparent system and actually a world where humans can actually be aware of what is waiting for them, what were the previous court cases and similar situations that were given. And this is all provided by data today. So when it comes to humans and empathy and technology, technology should serve humans. And in my own experience and a little for 5 years experience and remaining very humble, I think that putting people first helped us growing really fast. As when you understand their problems, their fears, their needs, it's much easier to adapt technology to these fears and these needs. For instance, our platform will very soon enable clients that encounter an emergency, such as domestic violence, to actually ask their legal question or to ask for legal help using a video or voice recognition tool that will actually measure the intensity of the emergency and link them immediately with the right legal specialist. Also, when it comes to cost cutting and cost efficiency, I feel that maybe clients don't really know where to go when it comes to law. They might have heard of a very good specialist, but from one of their friends that had a legal experience with such specialist, and so they go visit that specialist. But is this specialist really the one that they should actually go to seek legal assistance from? So all these problems, algorithms actually can solve these problems very easily. They're never going to replace legal help, legal assistance, and legal service providers, but merely they will just help to more transparency, more clarity, and simply more empathy and communication, which is extremely important between clients and legal specialists. Thank you very much for your attention.
There's one more question for you,
Yes.
Miss. One more question.
Vanja, thank you very much. A very interesting session. It always becomes extremely complex when finance, law, and technology come together. With an increasingly globalized scenario, and I want to focus on one domain, the fintech space, because we're talking money here. Let's talk about fintech. Fintech, the regulatory and the compliance regimes across the world are very different. And especially when you're dealing with multiple geographies, combining technology and the compliance and regulatory piece is extremely complex. We as a company have been trying to do it for 8 years now. We've made some headway, but we're not there as yet. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you think that this particular piece is going to move further?
It's a very interesting question. I would love to know more about technology and finance technology overall. I feel that it's going to be extremely needed that both legal tech and fintech act together hand in hand. Merely because, as I said earlier, we might not feel it today, but the increasing complexity of legal processes, legal procedures, as well as internalization, globalization of legal processes because of migrating populations, this will lead to very, very strong need of collaborative tools and practices between different industries. And finance and law are two very interesting, very distinct practices, but actually work very closely together. M&A, joint venture, I'm only naming a few, but divorce, intellectual property, everything is linked to finance when it comes to law. And we might not be feeling it, but also like the cost and the way clients are charged. I'm working today on a very interesting project as well. It links fin technology and legal technology. As I was asked earlier this month to be part of a very new legal venture capital structure where lawyers would actually give services and legal advice in exchange of equity from blockchain, unicorns, fintech startups, and AI companies. So we can strongly feel that these two practices will work together. But nevertheless, I think that when it comes to law, humans should be always put in the very center of the attention, while finance may be a bit less. I mean, I have absolutely no knowledge about finance. I'm a lawyer at heart, and I just feel that lawyers should never forget that they're here to solve legal problems and to help people with their own abilities, their own knowledge to suffer less from legal injustices or legal problems around the world. Exactly.
Thank you. We'll
You're
talk
welcome.
about it
I hope
offline.
I answered your question.
Thank you very much, Vanja, for all
Thank
the
you.
insight you've shared with us today.
I'm looking forward to meeting you a bit later, all of you.
Oh, we're here
Thank
for
you.
3 days. Thank you.